Fire away.
Are you good?
Joe, how was your performance tonight compared to last time? It sounded like you had a few zingers in your back pocket, ready to go to be a little bit more on the defense.
I think I was, as you could tell, a lot more comfortable being up there. I wanted to go into this debate being Joe Lhota, and that's what you saw tonight. You saw the real Joe Lhota.
Okay, when de Blasio was just out here, he says that you're just doing the race baiting that Giuliani did back in the 80s. And what's your response to that?
You know, he's like a one-note Charlie. It's just unbelievable. The idea that I'm a race baiter is absolutely outrageous, and that advertisement is not race baiting. And as I said, and I'll say it again in here, you want to talk about throwing out the race card? Why aren't we talking about the mass cards for all of the people who died over the years because of the what happened during the Dinkins administration, 2,000 murders a year? Why don't we talk about the report cards for all of the kids who were failing? You know, Bill de Blasio wants to keep failed schools open. That's immoral. What about the scorecard that says we are the highest tax city in the United States of America? Look, we can't be raising taxes. We can't be doing what Bill de Blasio is saying. And quite honestly, you know, it's amazing to have somebody call me a racist. I mean, you want to talk about being divisive or divisive? You want to talk about somebody who has no idea what they're talking about? It's just amazing to me that he's allowed to get away with that.
You said repeatedly you think de Blasio is going to raise taxes on the middle class. What is that based on?
There hasn't been a politician at all who has talked about raising taxes for the rich, who then ultimately also, almost simultaneously, raises taxes on the middle class. And Bill de Blasio is nothing more than a career politician. He's not going to do anything different.
But if his plan in Albany doesn't get passed, then what is the tax on the middle class that he's going to raise? Because you're also saying you don't think Cuomo is going to pass.
Oh, I
don't
don't think for a second that Andrew Cuomo is going to pass this plan, either next year when he runs for his reelection or the following year when, if in fact he is reelected. I mean, I don't know what Bill de Blasio wants to do, but the only alternative he has is to raise the property tax. That's the only alternative. He doesn't have the, be careful here, he doesn't have, getting better, he doesn't have the guts to say his plan B is to raise another tax. He says he's just going to go back and try to do something that is not going to get past the legislature. It's not. It's not up to Andrew Cuomo. It's up to the state Senate. It's up to the Assembly. And they're both going by the wayside. This tax proposal of his is dead on arrival. I was going to call it DOA, but I didn't have to. Maurice Dubois understands that it's DOA.
And so
It's
just to be clear,
DOA.
you think when it doesn't happen, in your opinion, then
I
he's
don't
going to
know
raise
what
the property
look,
tax?
Look, you know what? The fact that he doesn't have a plan B also goes to the fact when you ask him a question, how many questions were asked of him tonight that he did not answer? I mean, there's no there's no substance there. You peel away. You don't have to peel many leaves of this onion back to see it. You peel it back a little bit, and there's nothing there. And quite honestly, it shouldn't surprise anyone that he doesn't have a plan B. He barely has a plan A.
He accused you tonight of not having specific plans on how you would do pre-K, other than saying you'll find it somewhere in the budget. Where exactly would you find them?
There are numerous ways. There are different ideas. I can stand here tonight and give you 100 different ways our budget can be reduced without reducing service. Let me give you one. We have 5 pension systems in the city of New York. We have 5 presidents of the pension system. We have 5 executive vice presidents. We have 5 general counsels. We have 5 procurement offices. We have 5 investment offices. Merge it all together into one pension system. Get rid of this excess surplus that we have with all of these lawyers and everybody else around. Have one system, have it properly invested, and we will end up, combined with the combined computer system, probably over $100 million a year. So I'm 1/5 of the way there. Look, Beth, I've been a budget director of the city of New York. I had more fun when I was budget director than ever in my life because I was able to figure out how to take the people's money, and I never forgot that the money that the city of New York has isn't New York City's money. It belongs to the people. It was my job to stretch it as far as I possibly could. Go back to the record and look at what I did. I did it for both Rudy Giuliani. I definitely did it for Peter Vallone. Peter Vallone was so happy that when I was budget director and used to regale the fact of what it was like in prior years and in prior administrations where he didn't get anything for additional programs. Mayor Giuliani, when there was extra money, gave Peter Vallone the opportunity to expand programs because he understood partnership. He understood bipartisanship, something that Bill de Blasio hasn't the foggiest idea. All he wants to do is talk about, Tea Party stuff and Republican Party stuff. The fact of the matter is, those of you who've known me over the years know I successfully worked for a Democratic governor. I successfully worked for a Republican mayor. I'm proud of what I did. I was given tasks that people thought were impossible. Newspapers thought, my God, how can you go working for Rudy Giuliani, and then you go to work for Jim Dolan, then you go to work for Andrew Cuomo at the MTA. What am I, a glutton for punishment? No. Give me a problem, and I solve it. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. We have to do this for the people of New York.
Did it bother you that he associated you with the Tea Party, or that he was looking to do?
No, he did it last time too. And my reference to the Mad Hatter, it just reminded me of that crazy old crank who all he kept talking about is tea, more tea, dunking my stuff in tea. Look, all he wants to do is talk about tea. He is a Mad Hatter. Honestly, he has nothing to talk about. There's no policies. He has no plans. Sure, he has a lot of nice words. He has a lot of bullet points. Peel it back. There's an empty box. There's nothing there.
What voters did you get tonight that you didn't get after the first debate?
I'm looking for votes all over the city of New York. I'm trying to be I want to be the mayor of all New York. You know what? I really have to watch the debate to be able to answer your question, Esme. When you're standing up there, you're thinking, you're listening to the question, then you're listening to the answer, and then you're also trying to think about what the next answer is. Self-awareness seems to get thrown out the window with that, so it's not possible to answer that question.
Joe, do you
think
own a
one
gun?
time-
There was some confusion about that
I
and what
do
you
not.
had said to
I
his
do
dad.
not own a gun. The Staten Island Advance said that I owned a gun. They corrected it the next day. I talked to Jessica, talked to Tom Roboleski, who wrote that, and I believe they ran the very next day, 2 days later, because of the timing of how that works, a correction. I do not own a gun.
Have you ever?
I have never owned a gun.
Do you think the unions would support merging the 5 pension funds? I know some other folks have run into some
Well, I'll
issues
do
with
it
that.
differently than Bloomberg and Lou did it. They didn't even talk to the unions. They just went out there and did it. That's not how you get things done in the city. You got to talk to people. You got to cajole them. You got to give them something in return to be able to merge the 5 pension systems.
What would you give them?
I don't negotiate in public. You know that.
Do you know how much that would save?
With the computer systems, close to $100 million a year.
Hey, Joe, one more question. You mentioned you felt more comfortable, that you were the real Joe Lhota tonight as opposed to the first debate. Just what changed in a week?
It's a really good question. I don't know. Last week in the debate, I thought he came there to talk about issues. He came there to just, bludgeon me with the Tea Party. Tea Party, Tea Party, Tea Party. Quite honestly, I was prepared to discuss issues. I'm still prepared to discuss issues. But if he wants to play that way, go for it. This is like a boxing match. It's all coming down to the last round. Looking forward to next week.
Thanks, everybody.
All right?
very much.
Thanks.